What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got some awesome topics to go over, but before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and join in on the discussion in the comment section below by dropping a comment on anything that you want to talk about pertaining to the topics today. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into it. And we're starting off with what you guys see in the title when it comes to what the Nintendo Switch sales prove with the most recent JRPG sales. So this is something that, man, I feel like I predicted it well beforehand in terms of what Nintendo needed to do with some of the smaller end games, with some of the other type of titles that can help carry a system when you don't have the biggest new Mario or the biggest new Zelda or games like that. Stuff that's going to get the real core gamers interested, talking about the system, discussing various different things, and just putting more play hours on the system. And I think that was very important for Nintendo to kind of keep their system when it comes to what they were doing next, right? When the Switch was first coming out, I felt that the Wii U, just in general, and the Wii had too many pick up and play then drop type of games, too many platformers, too many things that weren't going to keep you engaged for longer periods of time. Now, don't get me wrong, the Wii U and the Wii also had games that can do that, but I felt that there wasn't enough in the RPG realm in that type of category. I felt that the Nintendo 3DS had more games like that, and people were probably glued to their 3DSs more than they'd be glued to the Wii or to the Wii U because of the nature of the games that were coming out. So I do feel that the Nintendo Switch kind of fell in line with what the Nintendo 3DS was doing in terms of some of the RPGs and some of the franchises. And the sales now are starting to come out, and we're seeing that all of these 3DS franchises that are now on the Nintendo Switch, or games that were so popular in the 3DS, have been having huge success on the Switch, and in my opinion are an integral key into how the system is selling, and of course proving quite a number of things when it comes down to it. Now, the most recent sales numbers that we got for the Nintendo Switch game Bravely Default 2, it's also on PC via Steam, but most of the sales were on the Nintendo Switch, is that Bravely Default 2 sold over 1 million units. Now, how Square Enix does it is that they do shipments also plus the digital sales as well. And what we know that back earlier this year, they sold like 950,000 units on the Nintendo Switch alone. The PC release came out, so they probably sold a couple 10,000 units or so there as well. But most of it has been on the Nintendo Switch. Plus there's a sale, plus we don't have updates from there. So definitely seems like Bravely Default 2 is well over 1 million units, or right at that 1 million unit mark on the Nintendo Switch alone, which is absolutely incredible considering the franchise on the Nintendo 3DS, it took it years and years, lifetime to date at this point, it's at 1.4 million, and then Bravely Default, or more like Bravely Second End Layer, the follow-up to that was like at 700,000, never even reached 1 million unit in sales. So it's very good to see that in less than a year, about 10 months or so, Bravely Default 2 is already right where what we saw from the first game. So pretty incredible there, and awesome to see as well. But that's the Switch effect that I've discussed before, and it kind of proves that the Switch is built for these type of games. And I'm probably telling you guys this is probably a thing that a lot of developers are kicking themselves for not actually believing in what the Switch could do from the beginning. There was very few developers that did that, but the ones that have taken advantage of what's going on here. I'm gonna go down a list of games that came from like more of the 3DS type of line, not exactly with everything, not with Xenoblade here, but came from like more of the RPG line that have had crazy success on the Nintendo Switch and have kind of proved what I was saying, what the system needed beforehand and going forward as well. So Octopath Traveler, over 1 million units sold on the Nintendo Switch. Xenoblade Chronicles franchise, over 1 million units sold on the Nintendo Switch with each entry. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Fire Emblem Three Houses, over 3 million copies, best-selling Fire Emblem game ever on the Nintendo Switch. Fire Emblem Warriors, a spin-off of Fire Emblem when it comes down to it, over 1 million units sold on there. Monster Hunter Stories 2, over 1 million units sold on the Nintendo Switch, and of course Bravely Default 2. I mean, there's probably more, but you have to be thinking like Falcom and some of these other companies that didn't go in as much, didn't have the unique and original games built for the system early enough, or at least planning it, right? And heck, we can even go to the creme de la creme of all of this when it comes to 3DS games coming over, and that is Monster Hunter, right? Monster Hunter Rise, that game, and that's selling over 7.5 million units on the Nintendo Switch alone, a massive success. Dragon Quest on the Nintendo Switch, well over 1 million units. The game is probably close to 2 or 3 million units on the Nintendo Switch because it sold 1 million plus in Japan by itself, and I'm guessing here in the West it probably sold at least 2 million plus or so on the Nintendo Switch by itself. So I'm guessing maybe around 3 million for that game with Dragon Quest 11 on the Nintendo Switch. So it just goes to show you that these games have helped push the playtime, help push more of the core gamers get in, and also show that the Nintendo Switch, in terms of that hybrid style, is the future for RPGs out of Japan. If you're making a traditional RPG, or if you're making a AA RPG, or if you've got something like Falcom or Nippon Ichi or a lot of these other developers, or if you want to create unique and interesting games without having a $5 billion budget like we've had to see, I think that the Nintendo Switch is the perfect system for that. Now, Square Enix obviously gets that, right? And the sales are kind of proving and showing that. The Nintendo Switch, which we're going to talk about in just a bit with how fast it's selling, but Square Enix gets that. We got Triangle Strategy coming out, obviously Octopath Traveler, Bravely Default, they're doing that. Capcom understands that. Nintendo obviously gets it with Fire Emblem and Xenoblade and games that they've been able to help out in terms of publishing and distribution. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is doing quite well on the Nintendo Switch too. So I think that there are more developers that are understanding this, but it is taking quite some time. Atlas is kind of coming around now. They're starting to port over a lot of these games and everything into the 5th year of the Nintendo Switch. So I think that that is a very important thing for the system going forward and setting up for the next system, guys. This is a momentum-based thing, in my opinion. Like, I feel that if Nintendo needs to carry the momentum, it seems like too many times in the past with Nintendo, with their sales of their systems, momentum would just die completely down, right? At the end of the GameCube life, just dead. And then all of a sudden the Wii, okay, explode. But at the end of the Wii's life, just dead. And then, okay, here's the Wii U. And then it never really took off, right? So I feel that they need to carry the momentum into the next generation, almost like how Sony kind of carries the momentum into the next generation, like they did with the PlayStation 4 and that last year where they had so many games for the PlayStation 4 with Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us, also Final Fantasy, like carry that momentum into the next gen. And I feel that Nintendo is definitely going to do that this time. But let's get into more of what the sales are about, because the system, the Nintendo Switch, is very much on the verge, if it's not already there, at 100 million units sold. Nintendo has actually told people like, hey, it's going to be crazy on Christmas. So what you need to do is that you need to, if you're gifting a Nintendo Switch, open it up, update it, do everything right now, because Christmas Day, when people are opening it up, it could cause some issues, just because there's going to be so many new Nintendo Switch Lite owners, OLED owners, all of that. Luckily, a lot of the games for the Nintendo Switch you can just play, right off the back. So if you buy your games physical, you don't necessarily need to go on there and update and do all that. So buy those games physical. But here's another thing for this, guys, when it comes down to it. The Nintendo Switch almost at 100 million, obviously. That would be right around where the Wii was, but it sold at a much faster rate. And I think that's the thing that some people don't understand when it comes to the sales of the system. Shout outs to my man Paul Gale, where he talked about this on Twitter, but he listed off all of the 100 million selling video game systems with portables included and how many months it took to do so. So at the top of the list, the Game Boy at 134 months, the PS1 at 114 months, the Wii at 80 months, the PS2 at 69 months, the PS4 at 67 months, the Nintendo Switch at 58 months. So that's if they get there by the end of this year, which it looks like they're going to be doing just that. And then the DS at 52 months. So very interesting to see exactly where the Nintendo Switch is stacking up in terms of rate of sales and how fast it got to 100 million. And like I stated here, a lot of these big games that the Nintendo Switch has, right, with these other RPGs have helped carry the momentum into this 100 million units, and has proved exactly what I've been saying about the system beforehand. And I'm very happy that they took this type of path with it. In my opinion, this was the right way to go with the system in order to have the utmost success that they can have, because you had to leverage what the 3DS did very well and then also add in elements of what Nintendo does with home console gaming, which is the Legend of Zelda type of games, which is the Mario games, which is the Super Smash Brothers, the big scale type of games as well, mixed in with that other stuff. It's all very important. And of course the indie games that help also carry the momentum from time to time as well, the Hades and stuff like SteamWorld Dig 2 at the launch. Obviously having games like that is very, very important. So I think that overall Nintendo obviously did a great job with it. They still can do more, right? I think that Nintendo can still do better when it comes down to like their Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack, getting kind of the games out quicker, getting their schedule. I mean, there's various different things that they can do to even leverage and get even better sales and momentum going forward, and hopefully they get that stuff executed and get that done. But overall, I think that this is pretty interesting just to see. And I feel that with these sales here, obviously it secures quite a number of things for Nintendo when it comes to funding, when it comes to developing new games, when it comes to reinvesting back into their games, which they've talked about before as well. They're doing like $1 billion of investment into first party expansion and everything. And you know what that tells me? That tells me next gen is coming and they want to be ready. They want to get those teams ready. They want to get that hiring ready. They want to get everything ready to go so they don't have that issue at launch, to where they have those games and they keep that momentum. So very smart on Nintendo's end to reinvest and kind of do stuff like that. That's the most important thing for them going forward. So what are your thoughts on this, guys, when it comes to what I had to say here? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys, we're going to be discussing 2021 and how you guys rated it overall. This is something that I do like to do from time to time on the channel, get a little bit more community involvement in, and I wanted to talk about this because on the community page, I actually put up a poll a couple days ago stating, how would you rate 2021 for overall gaming releases and quality? And your answers were very interesting. So I did want to go over just a couple of the answers here and kind of what some of you guys said and all of that. You guys can see the actual ratings right here, right? I went from a letter grade, so from A to F, of course, F being the worst, A being the best. And it looks like most of you guys, well over 50% of you guys, stated that, hey, 2021 was actually a pretty good year. 56% gave it a B, so B's not a bad score at all. 27% gave it a C, and then also 10% gave it an A. So overall, if you look at that, only 6% felt that it wasn't a very good year. C is satisfactory. That means it's still good, could have been a lot better, but most people felt that it was a B, which is good, or A, which is obviously great too. So overall, 94% felt that it was a good year or better than that. I think that's really good and kind of shows for the quality releases of 2021 overall, just all of the industry, not just Nintendo, but all of the industry overall. So I'm going to read a few comments here when it comes down to it. Yuki states that there were several awful releases, but overall, not a terrible one. We got Resident Evil Village, Rift Apart, Tales of Arise, GOTG, Scarlet Nexus, Hitman 3, etc. Okay. Moby Drip says SMT5 and Guilty Gear Strive came out this year. I see that as an absolute win. I have to agree with the SMT5. SMT5 was absolutely fantastic. So that's definitely a win. And Guilty Gear Strive has been a joy to watch. So yeah, very good there. Max Pink also states that for me, 2021 has been Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Resident Evil Village, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, Ratchet & Clank, Metroid Dread, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I think Village is the game I've had the most fun with this year. Okay. Next up, Meatman Steve says Psychonauts 2, Metroid Dread, Death Door, Neo, The World Ends With You, Monster Hunter Rise, and SMT5. I would say that this year has been a very good year for gaming. Yeah, I have to agree, especially with Metroid Dread, also Neo, The World Ends With You, Monster Hunter Rise, and SMT5. Those are all top-notch, high-quality games, so absolutely. Matt Nieves says there were a few misses, but a lot of hits. SMT5, Endwalker, Bravely Default 2, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, etc. There are a lot of great or at least above average games this year that overshadowed by the bad ones, in my opinion. You know, I don't really play bad games And I know that that's like a thing with a lot of gamers pointing out bad games, but I don't play bad games. So I'm not sure where all these bad games that people are talking about, because I don't play bad games, because I know exactly what I want to play before I play it. So I don't play bad games. So you guys can tell me about all these, oh my God, overshadowed by bad games. All I'm seeing is bangers and hits. I'm not seeing all these trash games that people are playing. Maybe because some people play bad games a lot or something. I did see John from Spawnwave. He talked about like the worst games of the year. And I think also, was it Sean RGT talked about worst games? And I know that people do top 10 worst games, and those are like really popular to discuss that, but I just don't play bad games. Every game that I play is usually really good, or I just didn't like it. It might be a good game, but I just didn't like it. So it is what it is on that front. Next up is Aries73. He says, between Monster Hunter Rise and Stories 2, Bravely Default 2, Psychonauts 2, a lot of twos, Final Fantasy 14, Endwalker, Metroid Dread, and SMT5, among others, this was a solid year for gaming. Yeah, I have to agree. Those are all great games. Also, is it Roy? I don't know how to say the name. Says 2017 and 2019 are A-rated years. This was a solid year, but nothing groundbreaking. Give it a B. Okay, yeah, that's a fair assessment. Legendary Dragon says, as an RPG fan, I'd say that this year was really solid. I got Monster Hunter Rise and SMT5, which were games I've been waiting to play for ages and have become two of my favorite games, as well as some other gems like Scarlet Nexus and Tales of Arise, among others, which are all really good. Overall, this might be up there for one of my favorite years for games so far. There's a lot more comments. You guys can check it out. Make sure you join the discussion. There's still time to vote. You guys can all go vote on the polls, and maybe I'll kind of take a look at it again and see how things are. But overall, yeah, I have to agree. I think that most people feel that it was either a very good year or a solid year, or it was really good, depending on what type of games that you like. I think that if you're an RPG fan, 2021 was absolutely incredible. 2021 blew away some people's expectations for RPGs. Monster Hunter Stories 2, Neo 20, Shin Megami Tensei 5. I mean, those were all phenomenal. Bravely Default 2, Tales of Arise, Scarlet Nexus. The RPG hits keep on coming and coming. And if you're into the online MMOs, obviously Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker was absolutely incredible. That had a crazy run this year. So I feel that, yeah, overall 2021 for me was definitely maybe like a B+ or like A-, somewhere in that range. B+, A-. I felt that Dread was phenomenal. SMT5 was phenomenal. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury was excellent. Monster Hunter Rise was excellent as well. There were so many great games. Returnal on PlayStation 5 was great. Ratchet and Clank was great too. So yeah, I think this year was really cool and really good for gaming. But yeah, go vote on there. Join in on the discussion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What were your favorite games of the year? I would love to hear what you guys have to say. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys. I wanted to plug my Shin Megami Tensei 5 Premium Edition giveaway. I know I've done this before in a video, but I think that this is really cool because I'm really proud of this. I really am proud of this because this is a worldwide giveaway for a premium edition that is sold out in most places. It's very hard to find with these premium editions. Maybe they pop up here and there, but this Fall of Man edition is really cool. I unboxed it. There's a sling bag. There's a soundtrack with tons of music on there. There's a demon art book, which is just super sexy. There's a steel book in there. I mean, it is really nice. It's a really nice giveaway. I want to make sure everybody has a chance to get entered in. So here's what you have to do. Check out the link in the description, my Twitter page. You have to just follow a few different steps there and you can get in. So you can follow me on Twitter. So follow me on there. Also subscribe to my channel. A lot of you guys watch from recommendations or watch from other places and you're not subscribed. Well, if you subscribe, you're going to have a chance to win. Also make sure you click the notification bell so you know when we're giving that baby away, when you see the announcement to see if you won as well. Also like, retweet, and comment on the post on Twitter, and the winner will be chosen on December 25th. So it's coming up pretty soon here, December 25th. We're going to be giving this away, so you definitely want to make sure that you are entered in and ready to go. And once again, it ships worldwide. My first time ever doing a worldwide shipping giveaway. And I also want to probably take not today. I thought about doing it, but not today. But we are going to have another big giveaway for next month, pretty much leading all the way up until the 100K subscribers special, whenever we do hit that 100K, probably next year at some time. So I am going to have a big giveaway pretty much every month till we hit that 100K. And then at 100K, we're going to have a really cool giveaway too. So it's definitely going to be well worth your time. And of course, watch the videos. Like I stated before, watch the videos. They're a lot of fun. I think that there's going to be so many cool things that we're doing in 2022. So many cool videos. A lot of you guys have been watching a lot more. We've been doing great with so many people watching the videos and coming out to the streams and everything like that. So I really do appreciate you guys. So enter into this SMT5 giveaway. Get it done. I'll be giving it away Christmas Day this year. That's the 25th, right? This Saturday? So yeah, the 25th. So that's going to be a lot of fun as well. So come through. And like I stated, make sure you click that notification bell, comment below. Tell me what you guys think about SMT5, why you want to win this. Enter in. And let's get these giveaways going and let's keep things up in terms of the momentum on the channel and everything. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate everything you guys do, everybody that watches and comments and all that good stuff. Seriously, you guys are amazing. And yeah, I cannot wait to announce the next giveaway after this one. But we have to give away this Fall of Man Premium Edition of SMT5. So what are your thoughts on everything that we discussed here? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.